Who doesn't like luxury for the price of nothing? Vietnam is just that for many people, but only if you're smart enough about it. While some folks know Vietnam for its war-ridden history, a lot of us know this country for its stunning landscapes, beautiful culture, and unforgettable experiences. But what really might make your time even more memorable is if you knew the cheapest way around the best of Vietnam. And in this video, that's all we're going to talk about. Is it worth going to Vietnam? Is this the travel country for you? What's the cheapest way to go about touring this piece of land in Asia? What should you be aware of when traveling through Vietnam? Let's answer all of this and more. But before I start, how about you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so we can see you around? That'd be awesome. Now let's kick this video off. Vietnam has incredibly gorgeous landscapes. Vietnam was part of a French colony until 1954, and there are still remnants of this shining through the colonial-style architecture. Everything from the terraced rice fields of Sapa to the mesmerizing limestone casts of Ha Long Bay screams unforgettable. Hills and low mountains make up 3/4 of Vietnam, and you'll want to go see its beauty for yourself. The Da Lat Hill Station, situated in the southwestern highlands of Vietnam, is a surefire way to have the time of your life, feeling one with nature. The famous Ha Giang Loop is also a must-do. The drive from Ha Giang City to Ye Minh is breathtaking because the road is lined with limestone mountain ranges and thick jungles. There is even a geopark along the way. The road takes you past the Ye Minh River and through tall canyons, so you must be on the lookout for sinkholes or stunning underground chambers. You don't have to worry about being stranded, even if you feel like you're in the thick of nature. There are plenty of stops to refuel and admire the incredible views from atop, watching the roads falling into the valleys below. And if you want to make things extra special, go through the Dong Van and Ma Pi Leng passes when making this trip. This drive takes you through huge canyons and mountains, compelling you to make stops and take in the picturesque sights surrounding you. The QL34 road will take you back to Ha Giang City, following the beautiful Gam River and terraced fields along the way. Water bodies of Vietnam. Ban Giang Waterfall stands as one of Vietnam's most remarkable natural wonders, holding the distinction of being the tallest waterfall in the nation. The stunning jade blue water meanders through scenery of rice fields and bamboo groves, around limestone formations, the surrounding region abundant with farms and fields. Vietnam has a deep history, some of it tied to the 16 Kong Zao prisoner islands. That's right, these islands were once inhabited by war prisoners and have now been developed into a beautiful national park with incredible biodiversity. The islands are a nesting place for turtles from June to September, so you might even catch baby turtles hatching if you time your trip correctly. It's a beautiful luxury beach resort that still manages to stay budget-friendly. You could learn about the history at the prison museum or relax to the sound of crashing waves with a view of fishing boats and green mountains in the distance. You can even go diving or snorkeling and explore the coral reefs. The list of beaches in Vietnam is endless, such as those in Da Nang, Nha Trang, and Phu Quoc, all of which are strikingly beautiful. Bangkok, better known as the Three Caves, has a calm river that weaves through limestone formations. It makes for a beautiful boat journey, passing caves and lush scenery. From seaside beaches to inland rivers and caves, Vietnam offers diverse experiences for both nature enthusiasts and adventure seekers alike. Diverse cities. One element that really makes Vietnam worth traveling to is the diversity of its cities, particularly Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, and Hanoi. These cities are lively, bustling urban centers, blending modern and traditional elements. Each city has its own special character, really setting it apart from the rest. Hanoi is the capital city of Vietnam, and for good reason. It's an ancient city packed with history, a blend of French, Chinese, and South Asian cultures. Hanoi Hanoi is home to unique museums, magnificently preserved colonial buildings, traditional bazaars, golden temples, and loads of entertainment. Hanoi's tourist hotspots are split into two, the Old Quarter and the French Quarter. The Old Quarter has narrow alleys and structures dating back to centuries ago, all well preserved. It's a busy city that really shows the heart of Hanoi, with its mouth-watering street food and vibrant traditional markets. But that's not to say Hanoi is frozen in time or behind in any way. Modernity thrives in this city. The streets are never empty. Hanoi has glamorous shopping complexes where you can quite literally shop till you drop, because they have everything from designer brands like Louis Vuitton to more affordable local pieces. The city is excellent at merging its history with its rise after the war. You'll spot monks practicing Tai Chi, farmers markets, cobbled streets alongside rivers, and rich culture beaming through. Ho Chi Minh City is Vietnam's economic hub and cultural capital. It combines modern skyscrapers with charming French colonial buildings and traditional pagodas. Beyond the busy streets and possibly endless traffic, you can discover delectable street food, a vibrant nightlife, and historical landmarks. Explore the Cu Chi Tunnels or the War Remnants Museum for insights into the Vietnam War. Stroll Bui Vien Street for affordable beer, or cruise the Mekong Delta for expansive views of paddy fields and houseboats. Visiting the City Opera House is another experience you won't want to miss. Ho Chi Minh City has something interesting for everyone. Affordability. Vietnam is famous for being a budget-friendly travel destination. In fact, it's one of the cheapest countries in the world to travel to, even when compared to other Southeast Asian countries. Most travelers claim around $60 to $100 per day will land you a pretty sweet vacation, or for $150 per day, you've just got yourself a 5-star experience. We're talking hotels, spas, restaurants, and entertainment. You really can live luxury on a budget in Vietnam. The truth is, it's not just visitors who have it cheap, it's locals too. Labor is cheap, so when everything adds up, the result is still relatively low cost. If you happen to be from a country that uses the US dollar, euro, or British pound, then you're in luck. These currencies have a strong purchasing power against the dong used in Vietnam, so you'll get even more for your money. The cities we covered earlier have countless affordable tours with tickets for exhilarating activities. There are inexpensive packages for dinner cruises with live music and exploration tours of ancient pagodas. You could also race through the city on a motorbike tour like a true Vietnamese local. Visit the gorgeous Lake of the Restored Sword or the Old Quarter in Hanoi for less than $10, or hand-make lanterns in the ancient city Hoi An. You could learn the fascinating history of how the Cu Chi tunnels were dug so soldiers could move undetected, and the tickets start at just $19. There are also art galleries that boast pieces from the past and modern art alike, not to mention the innumerable 5-star hotels and spas that don't cost a ton at all. So prepare to be pampered to the fullest. If you're more into the buzzing atmosphere of bars, clubs, or casinos without spending excessively, Vietnam has got you covered in all of those places too. Vietnamese cuisine. Fine dining in Vietnam is not ridiculously expensive either, and the flavors are phenomenal. Regardless of whether you're at a dented metal table on the sidewalk in the city, in a 5-star restaurant, or a trendy cafe, your taste buds are guaranteed a delicious experience. The mixed culture in Vietnam has produced plenty of flavorful cuisine. A good example is Cao Lao. It's soft, sweet, spicy, and crunchy all in one. The pork and crispy wonton crackers are taken from Chinese cuisine, and their thick noodles are like the ones in Japanese udon. Another example of this cultural mix is the banh mi, which are baguette sandwiches tied back to Vietnam's history with France. Fresh pho is prepared at almost every restaurant. It's a delicious broth noodle soup. You can't make it out of Vietnam without trying it. Ban xeo is a crunchy crepe with sprouts, pork, and shrimp, wrapped up in rice paper or lettuce and dunked in a sauce. Another mouth-watering staple. The Vietnamese take their food very seriously. Did you know there's a street in the capital Hanoi named after an iconic dish of fried fish? It's called Cha Ka, and it's loaded with flavor. This list barely scratches the surface of all the delightful, yet cheap, cuisine you'll find on your visit. Each region adds its own twist to it. Festivals. Vietnam is a culturally intense country, and its festivals are not something you should miss out on. Tet is the most widely celebrated of them all. It marks the beginning of the lunar year. Fireworks light up the night sky, and many celebrate with family and friends, feasting and partying. It's also common to gift lucky money in red envelopes. Celebrated on the 15th day of the 8th lunar month, the Mid-Autumn Festival is a family-oriented event where people gather to appreciate the full moon. Traditionally, children parade with colorful lanterns, and moon cakes, which are special pastries, are shared among family and friends. Hung King Festival is another significant Vietnamese festival. It honors the Hung Kings, who are considered the founders of the Vietnamese nation. Taking place on the 10th day of the 3rd lunar month, the festival includes processions, rituals, and awe-striking cultural performances at the Hung King Temple. Perhaps the most magical of all is the Hoi An Lantern Festival. Every 14th day of the lunar month in Hoi An, the Lantern Festival turns the historic town into an enchanting display. Streets come alive with vibrant lanterns, featuring cultural performances, traditional games, and floating lanterns illuminating the Tu Bon River. These are certainly going to help you experience Vietnam's traditions, customs, and community spirit. What to be aware of. Although Vietnam is a relatively safe travel destination, it's still necessary to be aware of your surroundings and stay generally cautious. Snatch and run robberies are an increasing problem. Like with every country, Vietnam, despite being a cheap country, still has its fair share of scammers. You still need to make sure you have an idea of how much things are worth in their local currency, and that you can speak a few words in the local language. It's always a good idea to book from reputable companies to avoid scams. You should also consult travel clinics to make sure you take any vaccines you may need before traveling to Vietnam. Some areas have a greater risk of diseases than others. The Vietnamese take great pride in their hospitality. They are a friendly people and love showing around tourists or paying for a night out. They may even invite you home for dinner, so try not to be rude and turn them down. And this is the end of our video. If you liked traveling to Vietnam and learning about everything it has to offer, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. That way we'll book you a passenger seat on our upcoming video travels. In the meantime, check out this cool video right here.